first son could seriously screw up his campaign. Hunter Biden is being... Joe's all in on 2024, but he better watch out. His deadbeat first son could seriously screw up his campaign. Hunter Biden is being ordered to appear in person at an Arkansas court next Monday. It's over the paternity case of his 4-year-old daughter that he refuses to acknowledge. The mother of the child claims that he's been failing to fork over financial records. And Miranda Devine reports that Hunter has been hiding out at the White House in order to evade legal papers over the matter. We're also getting damning new details on the laptop cover-up. Hunter is real cozy with Tony Blinken, who apparently helped orchestrate the Intel chief's letter calling the laptop disinformation. It turns out the pair were pen pals and would email back and forth. The former Trump DNI, John Ratcliffe, says this reeks of corruption.
Anthony Blinken knew, Politico knew, the Biden administration, they all knew that the intelligence community had officially stated that this was not Russian disinformation, but they did it anyway. They obviously did it as an effort not just to win the election, but to mislead voters about the truth. It's the former acting head of the CIA working with and orchestrating a hoax, another hoax, with the sitting Secretary of State to mislead the American people, to influence the election improperly.
You know, Harold, Hunter's strategy has changed since he's been accused of lying. Specifically, he's trying to get an ethics claim filed against Marjorie Taylor Greene for repeating some of the things that are seen on the laptop. He also wants to silence the IRS whistleblower. He is also going after J.P. Morgan for actually flagging 150 foreign transactions. And he is also wanting the DOJ to investigate why he left that laptop at that place in, where was it, Maryland or Delaware? I'm not sure. Does he have a foot to stand on, so to speak?
He may. He's got good lawyers, and I would imagine they're looking over every thing that they possibly can procedurally and substantively for him. I got so excited in the first segment I gave part of my answer about President Trump, President Biden there. I think the legal issues for both of these guys are for President Biden with Hunter and President Trump, obviously. I don't like piling on people when they have a problem. If this turns out to be a serious issue for him, he'll have to deal with it, meaning a legal issue for him, he'll have to deal with it. The idea of linking Tony Blinken, they may have been friends and probably are friends, but I don't think Tony Blinken has anything to do with the issues that Hunter Biden is confronting, or for that matter, might have instigated for himself.
Tony Blinken is the guy who, according to the sworn testimony of Mike Morrell, former deputy director of the CIA, orchestrated the 51 intel agents, and that is after a long friendship and after they went back and forth on emails to talk about important stuff.
Well, I still don't think that implicates him. If he believed that this might have been something that it wasn't, that means that he believed that it was something that it wasn't. And
well, you weren't there, and Mike Morrell was.
Well, if you read all of Mike Morrell, what he said before that committee, he didn't say exactly what you're saying. He asked a series of... He didn't say what
you're seeing either.
Well, I love you too much to get into a fight like this with you. I think we should both look at it ourselves together and we'll come to a conclusion together.
All right. Well, then, Dana, I'll go to you. What about this 4-year-old? The 4-year-old little girl. Okay. Biden talks about, how they're a great family, how they love the family, and yet Hunter has this 4-year-old. A court had to order him to take a paternity test. Jill sets out all these stockings for Christmas time, has Hunter's 3-year-old, but not the 4-year-old, and he doesn't want to pay child support, and he wants to downgrade the child support because I guess he's not making enough on the paintings.
This story is the one that really gets to me maybe the most, because this child is innocent. Okay, forget what her mother's profession is, I don't care. The child is innocent, and she is the daughter of Hunter Biden, which means she is the granddaughter of Joe Biden. And imagine that your grandfather is the president of the United States of America with all that power and apparently all the money. And your father doesn't have to pay child support. They don't even want to meet her. She doesn't get to know her cousins. She doesn't get to go to the beach on the weekends for the summer trip. She doesn't get to know any of them. Well, why? And the other thing for Hunter is, okay, God bless, you're in recovery. Isn't part of recovery acknowledging what you've done in the past and trying to make things right? Why are you even going to court on this? Pay the child support. I don't understand it. I do like it that in Arkansas, the judge said that she is no longer going to allow the Hunter Biden to not be there in court. He's
Yes.
going to have to show up in person. And I think that maybe that would push him, because I do say this out of absolute wonder as to how this could be, and out of sadness, okay, for the girl. Because imagine she's going to know her whole life that they wouldn't acknowledge her. That's really, really sad. And it's a terrible character flaw for the Bidens.
It's an emotional toll. And, you know, to make it even worse, Charlie, the problem is that Hunter apparently is living at the White House. Reports are because he doesn't want to get served in this lawsuit as it relates to child support. They now say that there is a new swing set there that was built for someone, a toddler, about the age of his child that he's admitting to. And that indeed there are other family members living at the White House. I mean, can you imagine if the Trumps had done that?
Yeah.
Apparently Naomi is living there with her husband. Hunter's living there. Every time they go on Marine One, Hunter walks out of the White House with them. They go to Ireland, he walks out with them.
But the worst part of it is the idea that the White House has turned into a safe harbor for a deadbeat dad. And everything you said is so dead on. And you know, and normally when you look at these cases, you're talking about parents and grandparents who would walk through fire to be with their grandchildren, to identify their grandchild and be with them. And the idea that you have the President of the United States and then the first son, who all for political purposes, all because they want to put, you know, in Joe Biden's situation, wants to protect his political career. In Hunter Biden, I guess he wants to protect his corruption career, but they're going to actually deny knowing their own child, their own blood, their own kid.
They're never going to hold her.
Yeah.
Like as a child, it's abhorrent.
Yeah, and the impact on the child, as you say, Dana, is devastating. Wrap it up, Greg.
Who would think that the smartest man Joe Biden knew knocks up a stripper? You know, you learn that day one. You don't knock up strippers. By the way, there's something very sexist about this in the sense that, you know, we know Hunter Biden's a pig, right? We get it. So how can they pass judgment on this woman, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because she was a stripper and she got pregnant. I mean, like, how dare it? I mean, it's like it's like a class thing. It's like they don't think she's good enough, her kid's good enough. It's kind of gross. It is funny that the woman wants her baby to have Biden's last name, right? And I don't blame her because everybody makes money off that name, right? And she deserves it because she took the biggest risk of any Biden to get that name. She slept with Hunter, which is like sleeping with a city block in the red light district. God knows. I mean, that's worse than fighting wars. But I don't know. Yeah, it's sad.
It's sad.
It's very sad. You made me rethink that
She's
this
a
isn't
cute
that
girl.
funny. First, I thought it was funny, but now I'm going like, it kind of sucks for that kid because that kid, why is that kid any less than one of Biden's other kids? Right?
Or her 3-year-old sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is